All right, so what Ms. Payne and I are going to do is we are going to do a little demonstration about the format for what a class debate looks like that you can help follow for Tuesday. So we decided we're going to do a really quick debate on whether or not hooded sweatshirts should be allowed in school. I will be the pro side arguing in favor of, Ms. Payne will be the con side arguing against. So your opening statement is when you first talk about your topic, you make your initial point. So for example, you introduce yourself. So my name is Mr. Bugie, and I believe that sweatshirts should be allowed in school for the following reasons. While it is true that sweatshirts can be baggy and that at times people think that sometimes students could be carrying things in there not paying attention, nonetheless, as students go throughout our building, it oftentimes gets a great temperature shift from being really cold to really hot. If we allow students to have sweatshirts, even ones with hoods, it allows them to have the opportunity to be warm in classes that it's cold in, to feel comfortable in classes that it's not. And just because it has a hood doesn't mean anything, as long as we just make sure that the hood actually stays off their head. Now what Ms. Payne will do is she will represent the con portion, so her opening statement will be a disagreement with that.
Hi, I'm Ms. Payne, and I disagree and believe that hoodies should not be worn in school. And the reason being is because they present a safety issue. And the reason for that is because, one, the hoods, when walking through the hall, many kids decide that they think it would be funny to yank on the back of the hoods and then causing someone to be choked. Two, in this day and age, safety is a big concern, especially with all of the violence in schools, and hoodies can be very large and many things can be hidden inside the hoodies. So that's a huge safety concern.
So the next portion of the debate is going to be the rebuttal. So we've each made our initial case, and now what we're going to do is we are going to argue against what the other person said. And when we do that, we want to make sure that we acknowledge their point of view, but at the same time we want to put a disagreement with that. So for example, Ms. Payne has stated that students in the hallway can grab and choke a student. Well, students in the hallway can grab any article of clothing a student's wearing. Simply having a hood isn't going to make a difference. Also, you've allowed one or two students who decide to make a bad decision to impact the entire grade, and in no part of a school atmosphere should we punish everybody because of something that one person has done. Now, in terms of hiding and bringing materials into school, students can do that any number of ways. We're not searching every student's backpack. We're not going through every folder when a kid walks through the class. Why should we naturally assume that students are going to bring things into school that they don't? So that's my rebuttal to her opening statement. She now provides a rebuttal to the statements that I have made so far.
And so what I would say is, well, you make valid points, but that's why we set very strict dress code rules, and we state them very clearly in our dress code policy. And so we should, as a district, state that you need to wear this and that and make it very clear in what you're going to wear. And so that there is no misunderstanding and that you can see what students are wearing. You shouldn't be wearing loose baggy pants. You shouldn't be wearing loose baggy shirts. And so that you can't hide things in your clothing. Now, if we do have, you said we can hide things in their backpacks. If we have this suspicion that someone is hiding something, we do have a right as the school to search someone's backpack. So safety is still a concern. Now, with the point that you made about ripping anybody's article of clothing, that's why we have teachers in the hallways, but the hoods make it a little bit easier to choke someone.
So in this case, we've both provided a rebuttal. The last portion of this is our closing statement. The closing statement has been to basically just sum up your point of view really quickly. You want to hit one or two key points, and then you're done. So my closing statement is while you've heard two arguments, one for hoodies and one against, ultimately, at the end of the day, I believe that allowing hoodies in school allows students to feel comfortable in classrooms. It allows students the opportunity to express themselves in ways that they might other not, and the safety concerns that my opponent has brought up, while realistic, are minimal at best, and thus are not ones that belong in this debate whatsoever. And that's why I believe that we should allow hoodies to be in school.
My closing argument would be, while hoodies are comfortable, and I do like them myself, there's a time and place for hoodies. I think students have many other options that they can wear to school that would be just as comfortable, like a cute cardigan of the color that they need, a sweatshirt without a hood. There are many other options that can be even more fashionable than a sweatshirt with a hood. And so I feel like there are many other options that students can wear that are more safe and secure in the school environment.
And so ultimately what happens is at the end of the debate, you have a vote amongst the class. After each section, the floor is open for maybe a minute or two, so students are allowed to ask questions. So if other people were in the debate room with us, they would be writing down what I've said, they'd be writing down what Ms. Payne said, and then I would say, are there any clarifying questions? Students would have the opportunity to ask those, or I may ask them, or Ms. Payne may ask them. And then at the end, once all questions have been answered, we take a final vote, and that's how we determine who has won the debate. I hope this video was helpful, and we'll be posting material on both our YouTube channel and Edmodo throughout the weekend in order to help you. Have a good weekend.